It's a truly beautiful sky, that, and it's a sky over Clipston Old Quarter. It's August the 1st today, and I've come for one final slog looking for glowworms. Now, to find a female glowworm glowing away merrily here at Clipston Old Quarter in August would be quite something, to be honest, because I've gone through the old notes from years ago, and at first from 2008 it was quite common to see a glowworm or glowworms into August. In fact, between August 2008 and 2012 we recorded, Dilys and I, an August glowworm, you could describe it as. Often a single late unmated female that remained glowing steadfastly until finally switching the lights out and glowing faint, never to be seen again. Now, of those 5 years, the last female glowworm was seen on August the 5th. The other 2 dates were August the 8th in 2008 and August 11th in 2010. But there's been no record of a glowworm here in August since 2012. And I would like to rectify that, but in the last 10 years at least, no glowworm made it much past the 3rd week of July. So that's our intention, to try and find a mythical August glowworm, at least here in Nottinghamshire. Well, I've just gone through the first section. In fact, the nightjar's just flown about 10 feet across in front of me. It's about 8 foot high. They're still here, and I'm quite surprised at that. I've just heard a distant bit of chirring. But I've gone through section O, that's the first section that I start off from on the road. I then go along sections L and M and then come back through those 2 sections, and then it's up the hill towards the centre tree through sections K and J. I may well go along the top path, which is one of the darkest spots of all this area, but often held the last glowworm of the year on a number of occasions. And then it's back along that top path if I go along it, and down round the centre tree, down through sections D, C, B and A. So it's along section L, check for glowworms in sections M, and back along here before heading uphill. Well, I've gone through survey sections of L and M and come back, retracing my steps through them, no female glowworms, and that's no real surprise, as those 2 sections in the peak, or this site's heyday, so to speak, of high glowworm numbers, were always the first 2 sections to stop producing new female glowworms. There were early starters and early finishes. The latest area, and the latest area to start producing females, is along the top path, and I may well venture along there. It depends how much courage I have, because it's incredibly dark. But I've got section J to go up. There was nothing also in section K. There's a slim chance of maybe a female being in J, but J seems to produce the best numbers this year, and also earlier, and I can't remember really getting many, if any, late females in J. There may have been one year, but whether I go along that top path or not, I don't know. But then it's down through sections D, C, B and A, and in all honesty, I'm not expecting anything in those sections. So now I've got my breath back, it's time to carry on uphill. Well, you may well realise by now that I found one, unbelievably. I've gone along the first section of the top path, saw this glow, and lo and behold, got a female. She's, well, when I briefly shone the torch on her, she's sat on top of a bramble leaf, and she was just starting to swing the abdomen round a little bit. So if I light her up, you can see that she's just on that leaf, just there, look. It's that proud, a good 2 foot off the vegetation. Absolutely brilliant. We'll put her back in darkness. I'll switch the torch off. Quite often, late females such as this one will have been out for probably at least a fortnight. I don't think this will be a new female at all. And it's usually once the males have finished, then females will obviously remain unmated. And in a number of instances, elderly females, which could be anything up to around 3 weeks in age, and that's very old for a female glowworm, often become more extreme in their habits or choosing their sites to glow. So they will wander further out into the open or climb higher, and I dare say that this one has done the latter and climbed up the bramble and plonked itself nicely on top of this leaf. And now she's changing position, and she's now showing a bit better at glowing, twisting the abdomen to the other side. She may well have brought it back round again now. But we have a glowworm female. To say I'm surprised is something of an understatement. Well, I've tried to get a little bit closer to her. It's a good job there isn't a breath of a breeze here at Clipston Old Quarter. Rain is forecast, and I can see the start of the front appearing above me. But encounters such as this with a glowworm on what is still a very dark, lonely almost track within the forest are always quite memorable. Seeing one of these is almost like having company. And now she's glowing quite well. She's not the brightest of females, and that's potentially another indication of this female's longevity. But here we are, August the 1st, 2023, and we still have a glowworm here. Now, the main reason that I came up here is that only last week I had a report from a subscriber who was very excited by the fact that she'd gone on a walk to see glowworms just over the county border, and they'd seen 50. Now, 50 is unheard of in Nottinghamshire any time after sort of middle of July, or certainly the 3rd week of July. Now she's glowing really well. And so I thought I'll just come out and just have a look. Interestingly, on this female, the 2 sort of anal plates aren't glowing. It's just the 2 main rows. So that's how I've ended up here, alone on the path in the middle of Sherwood Forest with this beautiful green lady. And although she looks bright on the screen, in real life she's quite dim. And now she's really moving the abdomen from side to side, and I'll just light her up one more time and then we'll leave her. And there she is, and she's a good sized female as well. They're typically about 2.5 centimeters in length, and she is full of eggs. Quite often as they get older, they do become quite thin at times, but I'm afraid it's highly likely that this female is going to attract a male. Well, what do you know? Not 10 yards or 20 yards from the female we found is this one, right at the junction, the main junction on this top path. And this one is on the floor and glowing beautifully. And you can see the two main rows of glowing plates, and then those two anal plates directly below them. They're right at the end of the abdomen on the female. The other possible lights that you can see are reflections on the vegetation. If I just light her up, we'll see what situation she's in. Look, and there she is. I'm not going to put this fully on her. There is no male with her. That's just wonderful. I now need to go along the path to cover the area that we used to. I was stunned to see one. I'm even more stunned to find and see two. Well, just look what we have here. Here being in section D. I'm about 100 yards down, about a quarter of the way down, and at the side of the path is this beauty. The third glowworm of the evening. Amazing. We'll light her up because she's sat and glowing from a nice position. There she's, look. If I move that out of the way, and you get to see just why I love these beetles and why everybody loves these beetles. If you don't like glowworms and you're a steadfast coleopterist, then personally there's something wrong with you. Whether they're still common or not in some parts, they're certainly not in Nottinghamshire. We take her into complete darkness again. Beautiful. This one is also showing a lack of any glow from the anal plates. From what I can see, there may possibly be just the slightest glow, but what a beauty. So, third one. Will there be any more? Or will the next time you hear from me be right at the bottom of section A? Well, this really does have me stunned, because since I recorded the last glowworm, I've now found 6. There's a further 3 in section D, one just into the grass strip by about 10 feet, and then 2 within a couple of feet of each other on the holly side of the path. This one here, and I'll show you the location. She's in amongst this stuff. Hard to film, so you're looking through this vegetation The other one is on the floor at the side of me. Well, this is pretty mind-blowing. I think 6 glowworms in August is possibly the highest count we've ever had. I can't believe it. I didn't expect to see one. I honestly didn't. And so far the count is 6 now, with the 2 female glowworms that are in front of me. And I'm still barely halfway down section D. It looks as though there's a good chance that there will be more as I go down, but sometimes equally you can go through sections or enter a section with great positivity, only to find you get a negative count and there's nothing there when you'd expect it. But a count of 6, unbelievable, marvellous. Once again, this little tiny beetle, insignificant during the day, has surprised me. Something that it's done for, well, since 2008. Can it continue to surprise me? There's only one way to find out, and that's to carry on through section D here, and then down through section C, B and A, and then back to the car and home. And here's female number 7, if I can hold this still. Further down at the side of the track in section D, and this one is glowing pretty well. Look how bright the anal plates are on this particular individual. The night just gets better. I'll show you. She's glowing on. I get the right angle here. Just sat about 6 inches off the ground and glowing beautifully. What an evening. We'll leave her in darkness. And here's female number 8, located about halfway up the incline in section B. There was nothing in section C, but right at the very bottom of B, just as I entered this section, I saw a short-lived glow, and I expected that it was a female just being visible in between the grasses, but I'm putting it down to the glow of a male. Male glowworms do glow. They produce short flashes of glows occasionally. Not a lot of people, well, it took us years before people even accepted or began to accept that male glowworms did in fact glow. Fairly obvious really, because the male glowworm actually glows while still in the pupal stage. But anyway, here's female 8 on this night of surprises, glowing beautifully as well. I can show you how she is glowing. And there she is, clinging to that thread-like grass blade. Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Fabulous things. I'll never tire of seeing these till my dying day. Well, as you can hear, I'm getting close to the road now. But what a night. What an evening. A spur-of-the-moment decision, and one of those spur-of-the-moment decisions that really paid off. I expected to be walking around here tonight and be on the way home within half an hour, just being a quick check to see on the off chance whether there is a glowworm here. There's 8. And 8, although it's a small number, this 8 represents a very big number. It might well be the largest August count of glowworms here at Clipston Old Quarter, or anywhere else in Nottinghamshire in the month of August. To find one that first one on the top pass, that on the bramble leaf, that would have been more than enough. And I think I said so at the time. Then I found a second one a few yards further on. And then coming down section D, 5. And then at the bottom of section B, on the way up, another one. And the brief flash of a male. Quite incredible. One of the best nights I've had here, glowworming. One I'll never forget. And in some ways, it goes to show that 8 can be a very big number indeed, especially when it refers to female glowworms in a Nottinghamshire woodland.